Skilla. Enhancing Careers. Chapter 6. Basic Communication Principles in Aviation. Following principles cover the conversation between pilots and ATCs that can ensure effective and safe communication in aviation. These basic communication principles are: clear enunciation. Pilots and air traffic controllers, ATCs, should enunciate clearly and avoid mumbling or using slang. Standard phraseology. Use standardized phrases and terminology as outlined in the Aeronautical Information Manual, AM, and the ICAO documentation. Concise language. Communications should be brief and to the point, avoiding unnecessary words or phrases. Active listening. Pilots and ATCs should listen carefully to instructions and readbacks, ensuring understanding before responding. Readback and hearback. Pilots should read back clearances, instructions, and advisories to ensure understanding, and ATCs should hear back to confirm. Use of call signs. Use correct call signs and identifiers when communicating with ATCs and other aircraft. Avoiding jargon and technical terms. Avoid using technical terms or jargon that may be unfamiliar to non-technical personnel or those who speak different languages. Resolving miscommunications. If a miscommunication occurs, clarify immediately and re-establish clear communication. Using English as the standard language. English is the standardized language for international aviation communication. Staying calm and professional. Maintain a calm and professional tone during communications, even in emergency situations. Introduction to Aviation Phonetic Alphabets. In aviation, clear communication is important for safety. Pilots use radios to talk to control towers, other pilots, and ground staff. These radios can sometimes have poor sound quality. If someone hears the wrong letter, it can cause a serious mistake. That's why the aviation alphabet was created. It helps make sure that everyone understands the same thing, no matter how bad the signal is or what language they speak. The aviation alphabet is a simple but powerful tool that helps make flying safer. It is used by pilots and air traffic controllers around the world every day. The aviation alphabet is a set of words used to represent each letter of the alphabet. For example, instead of saying B, which might sound like D on the radio, pilots say Bravo. Similarly, M and N can sound very similar. Saying Mike instead of M or November instead of N makes the message much clearer. This helps reduce confusion and makes messages easier to understand. This alphabet is known as the ICAO phonetic alphabet because it was developed by the International Civil Aviation Organization. It is used all over the world in flying, both by student pilots and airline professionals. Here are a few reasons why this alphabet is helpful. It makes letters easier to hear and understand. It works across different languages and accents. It helps prevent mistakes during flights. It keeps things simple when spelling out names or codes. Enhance safety and efficiency in aviation and other industries. Full list of the ICAO aviation alphabet is as shown in adjacent table. Each word was chosen because it sounds different enough from the others to avoid mix-ups. The phonetic alphabet in aviation is used in many common situations. Some examples include giving your aircraft registration to air traffic control, spelling out names or codes, reading off weather or runway information, confirming flight routes, talking about locations or waypoints. An aircraft ID is N203AB, November 203 Alpha Bravo. Even when you fly in other countries, this system stays the same. Everyone uses the same words, which helps avoid confusion. Learning the aviation phonetic alphabet is one of the first things new pilots do. Here are a few easy ways to learn. Make flashcards and test yourself. Practice with a friend or instructor. Listen to real radio conversations from pilots. Say your name or street name using the phonetic alphabet. The key is to keep practicing until you can say it without thinking. Mistakes to avoid in aviation alphabet. If you have become a new pilot or you are new in flying, you might mix up the words or say the wrong one. That's normal at first. But to get better, try to avoid these common mistakes. Making up your own words, for example, saying apple instead of alpha. Speaking too quickly over the radio. Using the wrong word for a letter. Forgetting to pause between words. Taking time to speak clearly is more important than rushing through a message. Even if you're just starting out in flight school, this is something you'll use throughout your flying career. The more you use it, the more confident you'll feel when talking on the radio. Common pronunciation challenges. Aviation English has its own set of pronunciation challenges. Here are some common ones. ICAO phonetic alphabet. While this alphabet is designed to clarify communication, non-native speakers might struggle with pronunciation of words like Bravo, Delta, or Sierra. Numbers. Pronunciation of numbers can be tricky, especially when it comes to distinguishing between similar-sounding numbers like 9 and 9 being spoken clearly to avoid confusion with 5 or 90 for 90. Similar-sounding words like left and right need to be enunciated clearly to avoid confusion, especially in high-stress situations. Stress patterns. Non-native speakers might struggle with stress patterns in English words. For example, altitude has stress on the first syllable. Regional accents. Pilots and air traffic controllers from different regions might have distinct accents that can affect communication clarity.